Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ndi. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you like what you see. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscription button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell so that you will know when I upload a new video. So today's video is kind of like a chit chat, or should I say storytelling, kind of story time. I just felt like I needed to share a little bit of my journey so that you guys would know a little bit about me. It's very, very impromptu, and I just felt like I wanted to share a little bit of myself with you guys. So, as some of you all know, I am a nurse practitioner. I am originally from Nigeria and I came here a few years ago. I currently live in the US. And then when I first came, I started from the ground up. So, of course, I started as a nursing assistant. Okay. So, I worked as a nursing assistant, graduated to working as a licensed practical nurse, an LPN. Some places they call it LVN. I think California calls it LVN, but in Maryland they call it LPN. So I worked as an LPN for a while, and then I, was working and going to school full time to become an RN. So I eventually finished my RN and I was working as an RN. So where I used to work as an LPN, they gave me a job and I started working as an RN as a wound nurse. So I did wound nurse for about a year plus, or almost a year, something like that. And then I moved into doing into being an infection control nurse. So I worked as an infection control nurse and a quality assurance. It was like two roles in one. So I did that, and while I was still at the company, I went back to school as a nurse practitioner. And meanwhile, throughout this time, I have never had to, maybe I've quit a job, but I've never had any problems. I've always had a good rapport with my bosses, everything, never had any serious issues, never had any problems. So, matter of fact, as I was in school for my nurse, I was trying to become a nurse practitioner. The company that I worked for, they worked with me so that I could take some time off during the week when it was time for me to do my clinicals. So I did that, and in the middle of it, I was pregnant. So I don't know, for some reason, I'm always pregnant when I'm in school. God. Anyway, so I was pregnant, so it was a little bit hard towards the end. I literally struggled through the last year of my school. I remember when I was doing my assessment, I still remember thinking that my water broke. When I woke up in the morning, I wanted to go pee. I was so tired. We had our assessment the whole day. So this is like a physical assessment test where you had to do a head to toe assessment, and then you were now, graded based if you've passed or not. And then based on that, you can now move on to your next class. So there was a lot of tension around it. So I studied a lot, and I had to travel to Chicago for this. And so that day we were so busy since morning, and we were going up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. And I was just following all these people that weren't pregnant, following them, taking the stairs. So anyway, by the time we finished, it was probably around 6 to 7 p.m. We had dinner, and then I just went straight to bed. I was so exhausted. So I went to bed from 7 p.m. The next time I woke up was probably maybe 4 a.m. I needed to pee so bad. I just felt like I needed to pee so bad. So I got up, walked to the bathroom. As soon as I got to the bathroom, and I had all this water all over me. Anyway, that's another story. That's gross. I'm sorry. Come to find out it was just pee. It wasn't my water that broke. It was just pee. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there so you see how stressful it was being pregnant and going to school. So anyway, when I graduated, took my boards, thank the Lord, I passed. Now it was time to find a job. Meanwhile, prior to me graduating, my husband was like, did you hear that it's so hard to find a job as an NP when you graduate? I was like, I don't want that negative energy. Do not talk to me about not finding a job. I don't know where you heard that from. It is not my portion. I do not care. I will find a job. My sister, my brother, it was hard finding a job after I finished. Oh my God. I was applying everywhere. Okay. I was on Indeed. I was on like so many apps, applying. But what I had found out that actually helped me a little bit was I had to now pay someone to actually do like a professional resume for me, professional CV, because I was basically using the CV that we made during school. Of course, we had to make our professional CV and all that. So I was using that, but then eventually I had to pay a professional to make a like a good CV for me, and I think that helped me a little bit. So anyway, this video is basically about my first experience with my first job. So it took me probably the first job probably about, let me say, 5 months, okay, to find a job. If you guys want the struggle of that, please let me know. I can talk about it. The struggle is real, okay? I was so stressed out, worried. I was scared that I would never find a job. Everybody wanted experience. Like, where are we supposed to get experience if you don't train? Like, I don't understand. Now, anyway, so eventually, one of my colleagues found a job, knew someone at an 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐬, found a job there. So I was like, oh my God, can you talk to this person for me? Can they, like help me out, blah, blah, blah. So she put in, good word for me. And I went there, went for the interview. It went very well. I was given the job on the spot. Meanwhile, this was an 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐬, and I have never worked in an 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐬 before, okay? I did mostly worked in long-term care facilities a lot, and then I transitioned to hospital setting right before I graduated, so I had no experience. And meanwhile, when they gave me this job, I was told that, oh, you were going to be trained for like 3 months, and then, we'll just keep monitoring you and blah, blah, blah. Now, orientation time came. I went for the orientation and come to find out that no, we aren't really going to train you for 3 months. We're just going to monitor you for 3 months, but your training is 3 days. 3 days? I am clueless. I am a brand new graduate. I have no clue what English you are speaking. I do not know what you're talking about. 3 days? 3 days? Orientation as a brand new nurse practitioner? I do not think so. So of course I had my struggles. This was my very, you know what you're taught in school. When you go into the real world, it's very different, and you expect me to figure myself out in 3 days, like literally start seeing patients after 3 days. And apparently someone will just be around in case you need help. And this is an urgent care where you have to do woman exams, pap smears, all of that. I was scared, I was worried. So of course I expressed my concerns that I don't think that's going to be okay with me. I would like to have an extended period of time for training. And the information was passed to the owner, and they decided, nope, they're not going to invest in you, in training you. So you know what? Let us just part ways. I was like, whoa, part ways. Okay. I took it in stride. Of course, I was disappointed. Of course. But you know, sometimes you pray to God for about something, especially I had a little bit of struggle with the schedule, but I was like, you know what? I've been looking for a job for such a long time. I'm just going to take it. So, you know, when that did not work out, I was really hurt. But at the same time, I consoled myself like, okay, if it wasn't going to work out, then it's not going to work out. It wasn't meant to be. So we parted ways, and I was back to square one. So I started looking for a job all over again, applying. A month later, this is like in December, this woman calls me. She's a doctor. She owns a pediatric clinic, calls me. Meanwhile, pediatrics, you know, oh God. Pediatrics was my worst nightmare in school. I did not like peds. I did not want anything to do with peds. I just wanted to learn peds and graduate, and then have nothing to do with peds. Guess what this job was? A pediatric clinic. So we talked on the phone. It sounded good. I said, okay, Indy, you know, you're going to do this. It's a private clinic. She owns the clinic. She's going to train you for a month. At least it's better than 3 days. You can do this, you know. Yeah, you got a job. First, she offered me some money. Then she changed her mind with the money. There was no insurance. I'm telling you, the struggle is real. There was no benefits involved, so that means I had to find benefits. And, you know, it wasn't like electronic payments. It was supposed to be no direct deposit, so it was supposed to be a paper check. It was just everything that was like, oh, my God. So I'm like, okay, you know what? What can you do? I'm going to take the job. Let's do this again. So I took the job. My 1 month training was basically 1 month of working with her in the clinic. So, but the good thing is, thank God, when I got there, she had hired another nurse practitioner, which was also a new grad. So it was the two of us. And again, pediatrics was my worst. I have never worked with kids. Nada, never before. So I struggled with, like, of course, peds medication. It's by dosage. It's calculated by weight. So I had all these struggles. And when I did my peds clinicals, the pediatrician was very particular about her stuff. So she wouldn't let us document, not like my other sites where I was able to actually document on patients, see patients. So we weren't really allowed to do a lot. So that did not help me either. So when I got there, I found out that this training for a month is actually you working and the owner just being there, and you just going there and ask questions. And if you're like me, I hate asking people questions when they make you look like you're stupid. Because, of course, I am new. I am learning. So I tried looking up a lot of things. I tried finding out the answers for myself. But because I was new, I was scared. I did not want to make a mistake. So, of course, I asked a lot of questions. And I'm telling you, when I tell you, I was treated like I was stupid. But I persevered. I was like, you know what? That's fine, as long as she was nice. I'm not going to say she was totally mean. She was nice. When she sees you, I don't know if you guys ever dealt with someone like that. They are nice with you, but then when they send you a message, they are very mean and condescending. When sending, like, through a message, like email or any messages they send you, just make you, they belittle you. Like, what happened, da 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 da. So, there was a lot of things going on. I was like, oh my God, this is what people go through with the crappy pay, no insurance. What is all this? So I went and I was just praying about it. So I was there for like, I think 6 months. Was it 6 months or, yeah, I think about 6 months. And COVID hit. I don't know if you guys are Christians, but I'm telling you, I believe in God. So I completely surrender. So with everything that happens, I just take it to Him. I have a conversation with Him, and I just believe that He will fix it. So when COVID hit, of course, she tried tele, and then she said she couldn't keep the clinic open because she couldn't pay because of COVID, and it wasn't a lot of patients, so I was out of job. So I was out of job again, but not like, you don't have a job, but basically you are, like there's no pay right now until everything settles and, we come back to the clinic. So while I was home, I was just trying to look for a job, find a job, keep searching. Of course, with COVID, not a lot of people were hiring. During COVID, most clinics were closed except like large clinics and, big hospitals. So it was kind of it was kind of hard. I even had one job where I went through like the whole interview process till the last stage, and for some reason, like they appeared that like they were giving me the job, and then at the end of the day, I didn't get the job. So it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of disappointment, a lot of no's. So one day I was just praying. I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't know what to do. Maybe I will have to go back to working as an RN. And my boss calls back and said, you know what? We are coming back. We are reopening slowly. But I can't afford to pay you for like 8 hours. So you're going to start with like 6 hours. It's not going to be salary. And then as the patient load increase, then you can come back fully. So right before I started, I just had a conversation with another colleague of mine, Doris. I will never forget this conversation. So I just called her and we had a conversation. And she was like, hey, Andy, this place sent me a message if I wanted a job, but, I'm not really looking for a job right now. So I don't know if you can just let them know that I sent you. I will respond to the guy and just let them know that, I'm not looking, but I know a colleague that is looking. I said, cool. So she did that, and I reached out to the guy. Of course, at this point, that clinic, you have to have 2 years of experience, which was like the norm everywhere. You have to have at least some places you had to have at least 6 months, some 1 year before they hire you. So meanwhile, I went back to my job. I was basically doing everything. I was the provider. I was the MA. I was triaging the patients. I was doing vitals. I was screening. Then I'll screen them, bring them in, do their vitals, see them, and then give the kids the vaccine. So I was doing everything. I was so exhausted, and all of this for little to no pay. And then you have to like call the patients and prior the patients for tomorrow. So you have to call them today, getting them ready for appointments. I mean, all the work that front office staff is supposed to do. I was doing it. It's like, when will this end? So anyway, I reached out to the guy. So we set up an interview. And of course, I was scared that because I went to the website and I read everything, and like they specifically need you to have at least 2 years of experience. So I was scared. So when he calls me back, he said, I was talking to my my CEO, and they were saying that you do not have the experience, but because I already spoke to you and set up the appointment, he will still, he'll go ahead and see you We do have something that is contract, it's not full-time. If you were interested, I was like, you know what? Sure, sign me up. In my mind, I was like, whatever is going to take me out of this place, I do not care. If it's contract, I don't care. So it was a 3-month contract. I didn't even tell my husband that it's a contract. I was just walking by faith. So I prayed about it and I took the job. Thank God the interview went well. Because again, because it was COVID, it was just one person interviewing me. So all the protocols were like not in place. So, because usually you interview with a whole bunch of people. There's a whole lot of steps with the interviews. But all that was like cut. I didn't have to do all of that. I just interviewed with the, not the medical director, but like the, what do they even call it? I think it's not the CEO. But anyway, the boss of the medical director. I don't know why I can't remember the name right now. I mean the title right now. So I interviewed just with him. He liked me. The very next day I got an offer. But it was contract. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't tell my husband that it was contract. Anyway, to cut the long story short, they liked me. When I went over there, I started working. The medical director, oh my God, such a nice person. I was like, I am new. I'm still basically new. And they basically took me under their wings. I was a contract, but I received more training than both of the jobs that I had as a full-time employee. Anytime I had a downtime seeing patients, they would take me. I would round with other doctors. I was learning how to do knee injections. I was learning how to do a pap smear. I was, rounding with their OBGYNs, rounding with their specialty docs, like more than a full-time employee. So they gave me all these opportunities. I was learning. Then I told them that, I was interested in full-time. Basically, to cut the long story short, they hired me on as a full-time, and that's where I'm still working right now. But what kept me there was that the medical director was so nice. I could ask him anything. Like, it doesn't matter how stupid the question was, he did not care. He would answer if I had my labs and I was so confused, like, what do I do with this patient? I would flag him on the labs. I would call him anything. He'll call me. We have Teams, so you can do Teams video. He'll do videos. He'll show me everything. I felt like I was literally crying. Like, how can two places be so different? This place, so nice. I wasn't even a full-time employee. They were so nice. But you know what? I thank God for everything, because God aligns your steps for you. It's true that God orders your steps, because you know what? When they hired me, they were looking for a pediatric practitioner. And because of that experience I had at my old job, I became a hot cake basically there, because they needed a pediatric practitioner so bad. So they offered me the job, and I started seeing their peds. I went to one of their clinics. I was seeing, because it's a big company, so they have like different locations. So I was going to one of their locations 2 days a week, and I told them I did not only want to be restricted to peds, because I love to learn. So I wanted to do family, because I'm a family nurse practitioner. I wanted to see everybody, do everything so I can learn. So they were like, cool. But would it be okay if you can help us for now till we hire a full-time pediatrician or a pediatric nurse practitioner at that other clinic? Would you be willing to go there 2 days a week and help, and you can still stay here? They were giving me like options. Where do you want to go? We have here, we have there. Which one do you want? I made the choice of where I wanted to stay, and I was going twice a week to help them see their pets, and they were so appreciative. So I'm not going to knock off my little beginnings. I'm not going to knock off that pediatrician that I had as my first official job, because she trained me, even though the 1 month of training was basically working. I was working. So I was working as an RN. I will do night shift, and then I will come there, do 8 hours, then go sleep and go back to my night shift. I did that for a month during the training season till. So basically during the training, I was officially working, seeing patients. I would see patients, she would see patients, and I would just ask questions before I like started officially on my own, having my own, like seeing patients on my own. But she was signing off every single note. So I had a lot of I don't know, complaints about my notes when she would review it and sign. But you know what? I saw all of that as a learning curve. I was learning, so I just took it in stride. Of course, I was hurt sometimes, but I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm learning. I'm fine. But at the end of the day, it paid off, because all that helped me. Because when I came over here, when the doctor that is like an educator, when she was reviewing my pediatric notes, she was like, oh my God, Andy, you did such an awesome job. I love your notes. And I credit that to her, because if she did not critique everything I wrote, every misspelling that I did, I would not like pay attention to like make sure that my spellings were correct, and I was like putting everything where it belongs. So I definitely give her the props for that. I thank her for that opportunity. I would never take that for granted. It's just hard as a human being to go through that, but I thank God that I went through that, and I thank God for where I am right now. So I just wanted to encourage someone out there, if you're a new nurse practitioner and you're looking for a job, but you can do it. Eventually you'll find your own job. You have to find your own path. It doesn't matter how much. I was just applying. It doesn't matter how much. You will get a lot of no's, but there's always that yes that will come. And your first yes might not be the perfect yes. It might not be the best yes, but it's going to pave the path. It's going to pave the way for your other yeses in the future, for your best yes that is to come. So if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time right now, looking for a job or where you are, don't give up. See it as a learning curve. See it as a stepping stone to your next level, and everything is going to be all right. Okay, thank you so much. Hopefully this video wasn't too long for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. As always, see you next time on my next video. Bye.